na kongu tukira wanda moangola shakena nasema takomandoita zuluta kifawati mutu ongolole tabela musema yedwa mwana tete nosaba ilindeke Pawa nuyoma ebile toke ni mangulula Pawa nuyoma ebile toke ni mangulula Sema se trea te kula dura trea non gira Yo sema si vota kumono Nuyome tu komanda, tuye peli no komanda. Nuyome tu komanda, tuye manguleni. Oyengo katende, komanda yotenga. Oyengo katende, komanda yotenga. Haiwa sema ya nuyoma. Oyengo katende, komanda yotenga. Oyengo katende, komanda yotenga. Haiwa sema ya nuyoma. Montana yeso trafa, Nuyo Montana yeso trafa, eno so trafa. Nuyo Montana yeso trafa, Nuyo Montana yeso trafa, eno so trafa. Mauripeni, Epandela, Gerule Pandela, Ora Namibia, Gerule Pandela, Ora Namibia, Papaita, Nuyoma, Twakonjina tuloloka, sigo twasindana, Twakonjina tuloloka, sigo twasindana. Osema, Nuyoma, Osema, Nuyoma, Osema, Nuyoma, Osema.
Thank you very much, comrades. Thank you. Yes, let's please give them a round of applause. A very good evening to you all once again. Thank you for your patience. My name is Esther. Simon is the surname, and I'll be your MC for tonight. You can give the MC a better round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, our guests of honor have arrived. May we please give them a round of applause as they enter. All right, so we are going to do our chants. And just to acknowledge that we have elders in our midst, I need that youthful, vibrant energy that we as young people carry to show them how it's done. Do we have a consensus? Viva the SPYL Party, viva! Viva the mighty progressive SPYL Party, viva! Viva the Women Council, viva! Viva the Elder Council, viva! Roar the young lions, roar! Roar the mighty young people, roar! Roar the pioneers, roar! Viva SPYL Party, viva! Thank you very much. Please give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Honorable Erika Shafuda, our dear mother and Minister of Finance, Comrade Ephraim Nekongo, the Secretary of the SPYL Party Youth League in absentia, and our boss, our deputy boss, and we call her also the mother of the Young Lions, Comrade Christine Haindaka, the Deputy Secretary of the SPYL Party Youth League, Comrade Jeremiah Nyiwawa, the Secretary of Labor and Justice for the SPYL Party Youth League, Comrade Albertina Mutenya, the SPYL Party Youth League Regional Secretary for Information, Mobilization, and Publicity, Comrade Emma Muteka. I'm about to say something, but allow me to keep it at comrade and not honorable. Thank you. The Windhoek West SPYL Party Youth League District Secretary, as well as the Regional Councillor of the Windhoek West constituency. I see the eye. Comrade Petrina Nidengwa, the Deputy Director in the Ministry of Justice and Labor Relations. Comrade Helen Amutoko, the Chief Youth Officer in our ministry, which is the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture. Members of the National Executive Committee of the SPYL Party Youth League, as well as Central Committee members who are present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to also acknowledge our dear mother, Madam Yatoivo. We acknowledge your presence and we are grateful you are here. All protocols observed. A very good evening to you all. No, we had an agreement we are going to have energy. Good evening once again. Thank you. This MC likes vibes, so you need to keep up. All right, welcome to this very important edition of the SPYL Party Youth League Public Engagement Series, where bold ideas meet real solutions and the voices of young people take center stage in shaping our nation's future. I've already indicated my name, and I'll just repeat in the interest of our guests who were in the holding room. Esther Chekupe, Simon is the name, and I'll be directing tonight's proceeding. Tonight we gather not just to talk, but to interrogate, to challenge, and to reimagine the economy through a youth-centered lens. We are here to unpack two very critical instruments of transformation. One, the minimum wage. Two, the 257 million youth entrepreneurship loan facility. I know majority of you just came because you saw the 257 million on the program, isn't it? All right. So because we have a caring government, a government that listens, a government that honors young people, we will tap into that conversation this evening to get to understand, how do I, as an ordinary young person, participate in this? How do I, even without collateral, get access to this fund? And don't even move an inch, because the panel here will give you all this information that you will need. Before we merge into our program, just quick housekeeping rules. Please, let's keep our phone on silence. I know we are young people. We don't want to hear walk, 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 walk during the program. We together? All right. Without any further ado, may we please rise for the national anthem. Both the AU and the party anthem. Thank you.
We have won.
party anthem, please. Thank you very much. You may please take your seats. So the next item on our program is an opening prayer. We need to thank God for the mercies He's bestowed upon us to all make it here safely. So may I please call Comrade that is tasked to deliver the opening prayer to please join me on the podium and to thank God for all of us. Will you please give a round of applause?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, comrades. You're speaking to Lenny. I'm from the Moses Gareb constituency. Let us bow our hands and pray. Gracious and almighty God, we bow before you in the mighty name of Jesus. In the quiet of this moment, Heavenly Father, we come before you seeking the gift of wisdom, for we know the life is filled with choices, both great and small. As we navigate the complexities of our world, we pray for your divine guidance in each decision we must do. Your word tells us in Proverbs 15:22, plans fail for lack of counsel, but many advices succeed. Lord, in this period, we ask for our leaders who are attuned to your voice, that they may provide us with the insight and discernment we need. May we surround ourselves with godly wisdom that echoes your truth and leads us down the path of righteousness. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray, amen.
Yes. We may please give her a round of applause. We did agree that our round of applause are going to be vibrant. It wasn't as we agreed. May we please give her another round of applause. Thank you very much. I would also like to acknowledge Madam Chikwameni. Thank you very much for your presence, ma'am. We do appreciate you joining us, comrade. Okay. All right. Next on our program, and I would like to believe we did get copies of the program, is the mother of the Young Lions, Madam Christine Haindaka, the Deputy Secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League, to give us a welcome. I mean, this is under the umbrella of the SWAPO Party. Viva, Comrade Haindaka, viva! Forward, progressive women, forward. Halala, women in leadership, halala.
Halala, Comrade Esther, halala. Halala, Comrade Esther, halala. Halala, Comrade Esther, halala. Halala, Comrade Esther, halala. Our finance, Mama Shabuda, halala. Halala to all the panelists, halala. Halala to Women Council, halala. I think I might be called to order. That's not the protocol of the party. Let me do it accordingly. By the way, I'm a central committee of the SWAPO party. I need to respect the protocol of the party. Viva Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, viva! Viva Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, viva! The President of the SWAPO party and of the Republic of Namibia, viva! Viva Comrade Nahango Sophia Shaningwa, viva! The SG of our mighty SWAPO party, viva! Viva Dr. Herunga, viva! Our Deputy SG of our mighty SWAPO party, viva! Central Committee of SWAPO, viva! Political Bureau of SWAPO, viva! SWAPO Youth League, viva! Roar the Young Lions, viva! Roar the Young Lions, viva! Women Council, Elders Council, Elders Council, Upper Youth, pioneers, the workers, all the governors, all the ministers, all members of parliament, all regional councillors, all local authority, all section leaders, all branch leaders, all district leadership. Yeah, no, that's how we're supposed to greet one another. I always tell people that you don't need to go to UNAM or either NAST. SWAPO Party is an institution that groom and give young people so that you can be able to speak and, most important, to spearhead the gospel of our mighty SWAPO Party. Comrade Simon, our directors of proceeding, my dear sister, thank you for the floor given to me. Good evening, dear comrades. Mwahanduka? Omahanduka? Are we angry? We're supposed to be happy because we are going to talk about the 250 million. I think from tonight also I will go and start drafting my proposal so that I can be a businesswoman in my own capacity. With that being said, good evening, comrades. I don't need any introduction. Our MC already have informed you who is the person standing before you. When you see me, you see Comrade Ephraim Nekongo. Because SWAPO Party Youth League, we believe in collective leadership. When you don't see him, when you see me, just smile. You are seeing Comrade Ephraim Nekongo. Unfortunately, he's in the field with Parliament, as you may be aware that he's a member of Parliament, and Parliament is on recess. Don't think that maybe have dodged or decided to boycott. No, he's busy with other commitments. Can we give a round of applause to our commander in absentia? Yaro, Bayadanki. I extend a warm greeting to you all present here and our online viewer across our Republic of Namibia. Firstly, let me formally acknowledge our distinguished panelists in order or in the rank, to our Honorable Minister of Finance, Mama Erika Shafuda, my beloved Auntie Meme Wange, to Miss Petrina Ngidengwa, please, if I'm not pronouncing it properly, my Oshuambo is growing, next time I will pronounce it accordingly. Our Deputy Director, Occupational Safety and Health, representing our Minister of Labor and Justice, Honorable Wise Emmanuel. To Madam Helen Amukoto, our Chief Youth Officer in the Ministry of Youth, representing our Minister of Education, Honorable Stienkam. I also recognize you, comrades, Comrade Youth League. I'm not alone here as Christina Indaka or the Deputy Secretary, but I'm being accompanied by our National Executive Committee of the SWAPO Party Youth League. Comrade, if you may please rise so that our people can see you. Comrade Emilia, Comrade Njizera, Comrade, that difficult name, Labor and Justice. So those are the top leadership. Central Committee members, if you are also present of the SWAPO Party Youth League, please stand. Okay, we are only 4. Can we give a round of applause to them? We are here because of them, right? Shasho? Yes, we are here because of them. Yeah, I recognize you, comrades, from all the ranks of the SWAPO Party Youth League, party structures, community representative, and the many young Namibians joining us virtually or online. I greet you all in the spirit of unity, resilience, and purpose. Before we begin our session, I ask that we take a moment of silence, not out of routine, but out of shared humanity. In recent weeks, Namibia has been shaken by a rise in suicide, including among teachers, students, unemployed youth, and others whose stories may never make the news. Those were people who carried quiet burdens, who showed up for others, and even as they struggled in silence. Their deaths are not isolated. They speak to something deeply broken in how we care for one another, how we listen, and how we respond when people begin to slip through cracks. This moment is not just to mourn. It is to recognize that the pain is real. The pain is real, widespread and growing. We owe it to them and to ourselves to reflect honestly and to begin by asking harder questions about how we build a more compassionate and responsive society. If we can just rise for a moment of silence. Attention. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you so much, comrade. We often whisper about suicide. Tonight we choose to speak out. If teachers who are central of shaping the youth are scrambling to despair, what message does that send to unemployed graduates, informal traders struggling to make a living, or young caregivers burdened by hardship? This gathering is about economic, yes, but more fundamental, it's about dignity, hope, and making policy that acknowledge the human stories behind every statistic. Comrade Directors of Proceeding, comrade panelists, as I welcome you to this vital session hosted by the SWAPO Party Youth League National Executive, our purpose is to critically examine through crucial government intervention. If we look at the minimum wage or the revised minimum wage policy and the 257 million youth entrepreneurship loan facility, this dialogue is not merely a technical, it is a demand that the purpose of leadership translate into a measurable improvement in the lives of the young Namibians, either in Windhoek, in Katima Mlilo, in Mabushe, in Kapako, in Linyanti, or in Okakarara, across the length and the breadth of our nation. Dear comrade directors of proceedings, SWAPO Party Youth League is a transmitting belt of the SWAPO Party ideology, policies, and programs in the nation building. It is our mandate to ensure that we drive the developmental discourse of the Republic of Namibia. Her Excellency, the President of the Republic of Namibia and of SWAPO Party, has launched the NDP 6, which was born from the SWAPO Party Election Manifesto 2025 to 2030. As our mandate as the SPYL will advocate for a total implementation of the NDP 6 without delay. It's therefore, occasion like this will be held weekly on Tuesday around 1800 hours, whereby other different ministers will be called in order to explain the NDP 6 to the masses of our Republic of Namibia. Our theme for today or for tonight is unpacking the minimum wage of the 257 million youth entrepreneurship facility. When we talk about a minimum wage, we speak of more than a policy. We speak of ending wage injustice. We speak of affirming that labor must meet dignity. We speak about the youth loan facility. We speak of more than a financial instrument. We speak of restoring beliefs in the talents and the innovation of the young people. We speak of ensuring to the capital for those without collateral and without formal records and often outside the urban center. Directors of proceeding, I'm about to finish. This is why we must ask tough questions. How will this wage law reach informal workers in the market and the construction workers often left out of labor enforcement? How will a rural graduate with no fixed address, little internet, and no collateral access to loan facility? What monitoring system will document employee compliance and deliver transparency? What effort will accompany those economic programs with psychosocial support? Financial literacy and mental health resource in schools and youth centers. These are not rhetorical queries. They demand concrete answer. They reflect on the poverty or unemployed and mental distress that weaken the very future of our youth. As the SWAPO Party Youth League, we are both the voice of the young people and the moral compass of our movement. We are here to hold our institution accountable and to ensure that promises that we made during the campaign are fulfilled. And also in the same vein, let me also give credit where it's due to some of our honorable ministers that are really working very hard. The likes of Honorable Sankwasa is all over. The likes of Honorable Veiko Nekundi. The likes of Honorable Wise Emmanuel. And some of our members of parliament, the likes of Vele Mamtenya, we are seeing them, how they are articulating. The likes of Honorable Shea, Amaru Shea, the likes of Honorable James Werika, and many others that are making sure that when we were busy last year asking people to give us the mandate, we were really asking people to say, Kuja, I know if you give us this 5-year mandate, we'll make sure that we bring road to Kairaira village. But as we speak, that's why Honorable Steenkamp is not here. That's why Honorable Wise Emmanuel is not here. They are in the field to make sure that we deliver service to all corners of the Republic of Namibia. Let's give them a round of applause. To every young person watching this live stream or seated here quietly, you are not invisible. Your dreams matter. Your concern matter. This session is not for you to observe, but to engage, to question, to image, and also to lead. Directors of proceeding, I want to conclude by reflecting. At the just ended Pioneers Congress in Enana, whereby our SG, Secretary General of our mighty SWAPO party, some of us we call a simple Sophie. I quote, Comrade SG said in Enana, Ohangwena region, never get a position through making someone drop tears. Because the moment the tears will come back, it might come back in a very difficult way, whereby Comrade God will not even be able to forgive you. So as young people, I know we are busy with the local authority of identification of candidates and regional council. Let's make sure that we respect the wisdom word that came from our SG. Get a position in the right way so that you continue to get more guidance, more wisdom from the elders and from the forefathers and foremothers that made sure that we have independence. I thank you.
I think the DSG has also taken my program along. May I please have it back, Comrade Mother? All right, may we please give her another round of applause? Thank you very much, Comrade DSG, for that heartfelt and very warm welcome, and for reminding all of us that are seated here that we are not invisible, our dreams are valid, and our dreams matter. Please, let's give another round of applause. You have further reminded us that tonight's conversation is just not a mere dialogue, but rather to critically examine government's intervention that are close aligned to all of us. Now, to set the scene or the tone for us is Comrade Emma Muteka, who is the Windhoek West SWAPO Party Youth League District Secretary, as well as the Regional Councillor of Windhoek West constituency. May we please give a round of applause. Viva, Comrade Emma Muteka, viva! Viva! Forward to women in leadership, forward!
Thank you very much, Director of Proceedings, but I am vertically challenged, so I need help with the mic to readjust it. I don't know how, okay, let's see. There we go. They did say women in leadership, we are here now. They said the future is female. It's not. The now is female. We've arrived. Thank you very much, Director of Proceedings. Good evening, comrades. Ow, young lions. Good evening. Good evening. That sounds much better. Thank you very much. So I want to tell you guys a story first before I do what I have to do. So, the past 2 days, I was just fine, guys. I was just sharp. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was telling myself, oh, those of you who are Shombo speaking will understand what I'm about to say. I was telling myself, oh, Emma was man. I was looking at myself and I'm just like, you know, I was just perfectly fine. No problem. Like my brothers and sisters from Monsati say. Then today, sometime, I think between 12 and 1, my voice just started fading. It just started disappearing. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, you know, the Nigerian people say, Chineke, my enemies have found me. I'm finished though. But I decided, I'm not finished. I am a young lion. With or without a voice, I'll deliver the speech. So, I need you to please bear with me. I might clear my throat. My voice might run away at some point, but please bear with me. Honorable Philemon Wise, Emmanuel, the Minister of Justice and Labor Relations in absentia. Honorable Erica Shafuda, the Minister of Finance. Comrade Petrina Ngidengwa, the Deputy Director at the Ministry of Justice and Labor Relations. Comrade Amtoko, the Chief Youth Officer at the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts and Culture. That's a very interesting ministry, that one. It's not as tall as I am, but anyways. Comrade Ephraim Nekongo, the Secretary of the Sopo Party Youth League in absentia. My dear sister and mother, Comrade Christine Heindaka. I must tell you, she was standing here and I was looking at her, I'm like, oh, so she can actually be sweet. But we go through a lot, colleagues. I must say, when they say that when you apply pressure to a stone, you do produce a diamond, and some of us are standing here because of people like herself. So we recognize you, Comrade Hendaka. Distinguished members of the SPYL Advisory and Technical Committee, fellow comrades, esteemed guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Yeah, Ngao, yeah, very good, yeah. We gather here today under the spirit of solidarity, economical inclusion, and enduring belief in the transformative power of policy. Tonight, we don't just sit here for another long talk. We don't just sit here to share WhatsApp voice notes. We don't just sit here to share Instagram quotes. No. Tonight, we're going to have real talk surrounding policies that affect real people who are in this room. We are here to unpack two of the most powerful tools aimed at rewriting the youth story of Namibia. When we were busy singing the party anthem, and when we were singing the Namibian anthem, for me, I always become emotional when we sing especially the national anthem, because if you listen to each and every word in that anthem, it reminds you why we're here in the first place. That it was a long walk to get here, but eventually we're here. The foundation has been laid. It's now our time. Unpacking the minimum wage and the 257 million youth entrepreneurship loan. This is not just an event. It is a platform for intergenerational dialogue, state accountability, and youth empowerment. Minimum wage is more than just a number. It's a tool of dignity. It is a government policy aimed at ensuring that all workers, especially those who are vulnerable or at the low-skilled sectors, receive fair and decent pay for their labor. With Namibia's widening income gap and the cost of living pressures, the revised minimum wage policy seeks to reduce the exploitation in both formal and informal sectors. It is a small step with a big impact, making sure that no one earns below what they need to survive, while also ensuring that businesses remain accountable. Now, the 257 million youth entrepreneurship loan, we've heard a lot about it. This fund is not just a pot of money. Comrade Esther said, hey, we are here because we heard about the 257 million, so we're all here. It's not just about the money. It's actually an ambitious, structured intervention created by the Ministry of Finance to help young people build businesses, create jobs, ultimately contribute to economic growth. With flexible lending options, and I hope, Comrade Minister, you'll touch on this one, please. Access through DFIs, like AgriBank and Development Bank of Namibia for the youth, and even people, this is my favorite part. This is also going to assist our brothers and sisters. I don't like the word disability. I always say those with special abilities. Because for the first time, they will be assisted in such a way that they're included and that it doesn't look like as if it's a safety net. It's built to support ideas with potential, especially those that can grow beyond the informal sector and solve real problems in our communities, from agro-processing to ICT to tourism and sanitation. In short, the goal tonight is to break down these policies. Are these tools actually working for the youth on the ground? Do they reach the right and correct people? And what more can be done? Because at the end of the day, if a policy does not translate into a better life or to better somebody else's daughter's life who's living in the village or someone's son in the city, then why do we have to do it? It translates that we have a lot of work to do. Like our president said, I quote, "We are too few to be poor," unquote. But we are very much there to be pure, not poor, but pure. Let the session not only spark knowledge, but ignite action. As young Namibians, we must rise to the challenge, not only as recipients of opportunity, but as creators of solutions. Tonight, let us hold the truth in our hands and also hold the system accountable. Let us talk about the right things. Let us talk and throw around the right ideas. Let's not just clap for them. Let's remember that the youth are not just leaders of tomorrow. We are partners of today. And don't worry if at some point you hear big policy words such as collateral flexibility or policy-based lending. Just look at somebody there and see, this one looks like she or he is economic. What does it mean? Just crunch them. Like here, you can also crunch somebody here on my right-hand side. She'll be able to tell you. You do look economic. Okay. To our leaders, we thank you for showing up, not just in the title, but in the presence. And to the youth, remember, you don't need to be a millionaire or to have entrepreneurial spirit sometimes. All you need is data, vision, and maybe a loan of 2% interest. Colleagues, it's called hinting. You're supposed to be supporting here. Help. Help a sister. In conclusion, tonight is not only about spectators, it's about being stakeholders of our own destiny. It's about co-creating a Namibia where the minimum wage becomes a living wage and where the youth loans become a launch pad and not lifelines. With those few words, let's get this party started. Thank you.
The comment I have is reserved because I was given an I would say you better not say anything after this. May we please give Comrade Emma Muteka another round of applause? Thank you very much. And what I'm drawing both from Comrade Deputy Secretary as well as Comrade Emma Muteka is about how relevant this conversation is. It's about how it's about time for all of us to dissect the ability that our government is restoring back hope into all of us as young people. And a call to action, because after this conversation, we need to go start with those business proposals, isn't it? We need to start dreaming, how do I now start making swapo scarves? How do I start manufacturing toothpicks? You know, all these basic things, because the money is there. And our minister is going to tell us how exactly we can acquire this funding. All right, now before we get into the conversation of the evening, I want to bring back the energy, right? The way we do it in SWAPO. Just with a little song, nothing too out of the ordinary. We jive where we are, and then I'll hand over to our moderator. Madam, the DJ at the back, can you please assist? And the youth energy should show in the vibe, bring in the vibes. Young people in the Swapo party carry. That's the vibe. So that even next time, when we invite the elders, they'll say, ooh, because of the vibes, because of the energy, I'm definitely attending. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I'll now hand the floor to our moderator for tonight's discussion, which is Comrade Jeremiah Nyiwanwa, the Secretary of Labor and Justice for the Swapo Party Youth League, to call up the panel, and then we dive into the discussion. Please welcome with a round of applause. I see the halala went louder when it's 257 million. All right, Comrade, the floor is yours.
My goal for tonight is very simple. And it's to ensure that every Namibian youth out there, in all corners of Namibia, understand the minimum wage as we unpack it tonight, and also to ensure that every Namibian youth, especially the youth entrepreneurs and the youth in business, and also the upper youth in business, understand how to access this facility, which has been rolled out by the Swapo Party-led government. Now, before I call upon my panelists, what I have here is the Swapo Party manifesto. Now, this is what Namibian people have mandated us in the previous or in the last elections. And what we are here is to show that the Swapo Party-led government is standing upon delivery. It's business unusual. I would like to call upon our first panelist, but before I do that, I first want to set some house rules that when I call upon the panelist, only when the panelist gets up and they come and take the seat, please give them a hand of applause. I would like to invite our Honorable Comrade Rika Safuda, our former Executive Director at the Ministry of Finance, and also she served in the portfolio of the National Planning Commission. Welcome, Honorable. Ala, ala. I would also like to call upon Comrade Petrina Midengwa to come and join us. Deputy Director, Occupational Health and Safety, Ministry of Justice, Labor Relations, Directorate of Labor Service, and she has been serving there for 7 years. And finally, I would like to invite Comrade Helen Hamutoko, Chief Youth Officer, Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts, and Culture. She is serving under the Directorate of Youth, and surprisingly, she has been serving in that ministry for 32 years. Yes. So, I believe in terms of information, we are in the right hands. Now, yeah, what I want to do now is to start with Honorable. We want the money. But we have a lot of questions. I will reserve mine. Yeah. Honorable Rika Safuda, we want to know, and I want to start with you. What is the rollout timeline for the 250 million youth loan scheme? And what criteria will be used to approve youth loan applications? I just want to set some ground rules. The water, I think, let's allow 30 seconds for the water to be served so that we can have the full attention and that everybody can capture the questions. And you can also take note of the answers, and when the Q&A, if you have any answer or contribution, we will then allow. And we also like to observe our audience who are with us from all walks of life, our online audience. We must also bear with them, and we also attend to the questions. Thank you. Honorable, can I repeat the question, or you are good?
Thank you very much, Comrade Moderator, for this opportunity. A very good evening to all of you, comrades. That's not sufficient for, remember we are going to talk about 257 million, right? It's not the 750, 257 million. Thank you so much. I have really acknowledged all the protocols, but moderator, if you can just give me 1 second to introduce my team, because this is a subject that is a serious subject, and because of its seriousness, I have also brought with me the witnesses of what I'm going to say. So can I have the Executive Director of the National Planning Commission? Where is the, yes. That Iben Nasandi, Executive Director, National Planning Commission. Can I have all the managers from Ministry of Finance? Just stand up. Very good. Very good. Can I have the acting CEO of Agribank, if he's, no. First, the acting CEO of Development Bank of Namibia. And your team, if you are two, stand up. There's a reason why I said the two of them should stand. One, responsible for SME and youth lending, and the other one is now the really acting CEO. I needed to see if EIF, are you here? Dr. Libanda? Yes. And then we have an apology from Agribank. They could not make it. There's a reason why I said they should stand up, because it's for you to know and to be convinced that the government that you have elected in 2024 has heard you, and has heard you on what you wanted to see as the youth. And one of the things that you said you want to see is, or are initiatives that are designed, right, to address the youth unemployment in this country. Now, I'm now going to talk to one of such initiatives, which is the National Youth Fund, which is a fund that you have all heard about some years back, because the National Youth Council Act of 2009 makes provision for the establishment of the National Youth Fund, right? But as a responsible government, we reflect, we retreat a little bit, and we advance. Did you hear that one? You didn't hear. Because you are all young. You are all young. That's why I did not hear what I said. I said, as a responsible government, we listen, né? We reflect. When you retreat and you reflect, and then you advance. Okay. Ask those ones who are in the liberation struggle. They will tell you what that means. It's a strategy to say, how can we then really tackle youth unemployment in this country? Because we have had so many initiatives, right? Credit scheme there, another youth grant there, another youth grant there, but the impact is not felt. I'm now coming back to your question, moderator. So the youth fund is established as consistent with the aspirations in the SWAP manifesto, which is now incorporated, or that gave also birth to the National Development Fund number 6. So we have then designed this fund as a policy. The manifesto is talking to 500 million per annum for a period of 5 years. But you want to start. You don't just start with all the millions, mobilizing resources, and then they are not spent. So we have now mobilized 257 million. To that, you add already a contribution of 5 million from Namibia, right? To that, you add additional 10 million from Development Bank of Namibia. We are moving, because now the 257 is used as the catalytic funding. It is attracting other funds. So we are continuing to mobilize, but that will depend on how you are going to use it. Yeah? Now, how are we going to roll the 257? Number one, in terms of the act, this money is appropriated for. That's very, very important. When it's appropriated for, it then means we have to look for the revenue. From the revenue that we are going to collect, there should be a 257 million set aside for this purpose. How it is going to be rolled out, it is meant for youth enterprises. And the fund is hosted by the Ministry of Finance. But we cannot be everywhere to distribute or to advance this money. So we have identified 4 development institutions. So it's Agribank, DBN, and then we have EIF and NAMPOST. NAMPOST, they are not yet ready. That's why they are not here. They are still putting their house in order. So we are going to start with 3. That is Agribank, DBN, and EIF. And why? It is because they already have windows, products meant for the youth. So we are just going to merge the funds so that, again, together we achieve greater. Okay? So the criteria are very, very flexible. Let me put it that way. Number 1, you should be a Namibian citizen, among other things. If you are not a Namibian citizen, do not even try it. No, we are transparent. We are transparent. Number 2, you should really be a youth. Now, I have heard someone talking about upper youth. No. I don't know about the definition of upper youth, but this one is up to 35 years. Yes? 35. 35. Give me a round of applause. 35. Very good. Now, the beauty of this fund, once more, is to say we really want to attract as many youth enterprises as we can. Therefore, the use of collateral, for the first time, you will not hear the collateral in the sense of those words of collateral. Just really for you to have that project, let it grow, because we want you to do more. So if you have a project, you have to really illustrate that you have a project. And that project is a bankable one. And we are going to help you to develop it. Can I end there, or I should continue? Now, last one, which is very interesting. The highest interest rate that you have is 4%. Applaud your government.
Oh, wow. Honorable, thank you very much for that. I'm not sure if I have heard you correct. The 257 million, is it a yearly, or is it for the next 5 years, the entire 257 million? And secondly, Honorable, so if my mother happened to be an ambassador in another country and I was born there, and now I'm back to Namibia, so I'm not qualifying for the fund.
Thank you so much. The 257 is meant for the financial year 2025 to 2026. 2026 ends March 2026. So from when I launch it, or someone will launch it, up to March 2026, we should have depleted that money.
There we have it.
Depleted it in a responsible manner. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you were born by Erica while I was in Sweden, you are a Namibian child. Yes, your certificate is there, but you are a Namibian child. We're sure you will acquire your citizenship.
Thank you, Honorable. Now, coming to Comrade Petrina Ngidengwa, I want to know how will the minimum wage be enforced across formal and informal sector in Namibia?
Thank you very much, moderator. Good evening to everyone present. I'm really honored to be part of this very important discussion. And before I respond to your question, I would like to introduce the team from the Ministry of Justice and Labor Relations. We have Mr. David Igonda, Director for Labor Services, who is responsible for, among others, coordination of employment initiatives. We have Mr. Enoch Amukwa. Mr. Amukwa is the Deputy Director for Labor Inspectorate, and this is the inspectorate responsible for the enforcement of minimum wage, which we have to discuss here tonight. It will be a sin if I do not acknowledge the presence of Advocate Vicky Yatoivo. Meme Yatoivo, I'm very happy to see you here. Advocate Yatoivo, she has been a strong driver for the introduction of the minimum wage under the Ministry of Labor that time. Thank you very much. And coming now to the question on how do we enforce the minimum wage in both informal and formal sectors. Allow me to start by introducing or sharing how the Ministry of Labor has been enforcing the conditions of employment, including the payments of workers or employees. For years, the ministry has been enforcing basic conditions of employment without a national minimum wage. And that has been a challenge. An inspector can enter the workplace, find a worker who is earning 1,500 per month. And the inspector will be left with, not speechless, but powerless, because we don't have a tool as a government which requires the employer to pay a specific amount. So for that reason, during 2021, the Minister of Labor, through government gazetting, convened a commission of minimum wage, or commission of wage. And that commission was required to study the sectors, to present a report to the minister with recommendation on the minimum wage. And within a year, the commission presented the report to the minister with a recommendation of minimum wage of $18 per hour. And that is how the government came up with the minimum wage, which was passed or gazetted this year in January 2025. That is when the government officially introduced the minimum wage. Now, how do we enforce the minimum wage? This minimum wage of $18 per hour is applicable to all sectors, formal and informal, exclusive of 3 sectors, which is security sector, domestic workers, and agriculture sector. For these 3 sectors, the minimum wage will be implemented progressively over a period of 3 years. Let me just give an example of, or specify the security sector, where currently they are earning $13.50 per hour as per the minimum wage. And next year, as of 1st of January 2026, they will be required to be paid $16 per hour. And then 2017, 1st January, they will be required to earn $18 per hour. So that is how we are implementing it. Now, how are we enforcing it? we are enforcing it through different mechanisms. Through labor inspection, where we are required to conduct labor inspection at workplaces to verify whether employers are complying with the minimum wage. And starting this year, knowing that we have added more to the provisions of the Labor Act, which the labor inspectors are enforcing, the ministry have increased, because we normally target for labor inspection to be conducted per annum. We have increased the labor inspection from 1,970 to 4,000 per annum. That is the inspection to be conducted per annum, just to accommodate the minimum wage. We have increased the number of inspectors, thank you to the Ministry of Finance. We got a budget to increase the number of inspectors with 27%. And again, we increase because you have to look at all the enabling factors for somebody to enforce the minimum wage. Got a vehicle, additional of new vehicles, of 15% of the already existing vehicles. So this is what has been happening at the ministry so far, and that is part of reinforcement. Now, adding to that, to the labor inspection, minimum wage is a new subject. And of course, we need to educate the people. We need to educate the stakeholders. From the beginning, when the minimum wage was introduced, I'm sure most of us have seen how the ministry being on the television, for instance, where we were speaking about the minimum wage, how it was introduced, but that is not good enough. We need to have more intensive advocacy and education to our social partners, who are the employers and the workers, and the community, or to say the public at large. That is part of how we can enforce this minimum wage, that everybody understands their role, everybody understands why is it important, and so on. So I think let me just end here for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Petrina, for that input. We will come back to the enforcement, especially the entrepreneurs, the business owners, especially those ones who are engaging in the domestic sector, to make sure that these employees or the employees are getting paid or remunerated the right amount as per the government gazette. Comrade Helena Mutoko, I maybe first must allow you so that you can also introduce your team of experts. You all came sharp. So, oh, but we are also ready for you. Yeah, Ms. Helena, I will allow you to introduce your team of experts before I pose my question.
My name is Helena Mtoko. I am a worker with youth, actually a civil servant, and I work for the ministry now, education, innovation, youth, sports, arts, and culture. I work for the Directorate Youth Development, and they are the ones mostly dealing with youth entrepreneurs, and I think that's the reason why we are here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Helen Mutoko. And I believe that you are the most important part. Youth, everything is, you are the heartbeat of the youth. My first question to you is, what are the programs at the ministry that support youth with entrepreneurial training, and what programs are there to get them ready? What readiness programs do you have in place that we might not be aware of? And if there are new programs that are being introduced, can you kindly share that with us, please?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Firstly, I do not know whether my colleagues are here or they couldn't make it. If there is one, anybody from the Ministry of Education, my colleagues, maybe you can just stand where you are. In the absence of any, I think I have got the full house. The faces are so youthful. And I am here representing them. I am also youth at heart, as our as our late president had again, God let him rest in peace, used to say, he was always youthful. So we took it from him, and he was also my principal, so I'm his student. So I'm also youthful. Coming to the Ministry of Education, as the long name reads, mostly all the departments that you have heard there are 6 of them, and they all somehow cater for youth entrepreneurship. I will not talk about all the directorates, but I will mainly talk of the Directorate Youth Development, the programs under the Directorate Youth Development. The Directorate Youth Development caters for young people out of school, unemployed youth. Hear me well, out of school, unemployed youth. We do not cater for young people in school. They are catered for by education department. Their ages, as per the youth policy of 2020, is 18 to 34 years. But you can participate in the program until the years of 35. The programs that we have in the ministry, we have a number of programs, or that we have in the directorate. There are a number of them. We have number 1, the skills training, where we are trying to impact skills to young people, mainly those ones who dropped early from school, those ones who did not even have a chance to go to school, but knows how to read, write, and can understand basic English. They can go to our skills training center with the purpose of them to get knowledge, for them to go for further vocational trainings and get qualification of NTA level. The courses that are offered there are mostly the same as cultural courses, this welding, bricklaying, carpentry, whatever. And they also go until computer literacy, they go to tailoring, and also agriculture. The main purpose of offering such courses is for young people to, after graduating, either to join VTCs or either to start self-employment. The aim is employment creation and poverty eradication in our own communities. The other program that we have is the Namibia Youth Credit Scheme. And I know that most of the youth here have heard about the Namibia Youth Credit Scheme. If you haven't heard about it, I invite you to visit the Windhoek Multipurpose Youth Resource Center. You will get all the information on the Namibia Youth Credit Scheme. This is a program that empowers young people with entrepreneurial skills, give them a minimum amount to start their small businesses, and they grow with the program until such a time that they have start their own small or either medium enterprises. By that I mean that there are those ones who are starting mini business, and then there are those ones that goes until they are in small or maybe medium enterprises. At medium, they are able to employ other youth, and they are able to register their business with all the regulatory authorities. And the loans are very, very small. They start from 8,000. For those ones who knows it, they know this program has grown, because there was a time when it was just giving 2,000, for example. One will say, what am I doing with the 2,000? But we went around and find young people in business, which they started with a 200. And we were saying, if you start giving them a lot of money, especially young men, instead of them going into business, they will start off thinking, buying Nike shoes, taking a girlfriend out, and at the end of the day, they cannot pay a loan because the loan was put into other use and not into business. We have another program called 121 Youth Enterprises.
Ms. Helen,
Yes?
before you continue, at the credit scheme, it's very interesting. It's only us men, but I will leave it at that. I'm not going to go into that one. I'm much more interested. So let me say that I own a cooker shop, and the ministry gives me or assists me with an X amount, say 4,000 Namibian dollars, and I successfully repaid that amount back to the ministry. So the ministry will be able to double that amount back to me to further grow the business. So meaning that the ministry will give me 8,000, and then if I bring back the 8,000, the ministry can give me 16,000. I just want us to be on the same page. So,
Yes.
yeah, thank you.
I think I can respond to that one. The loans are given in phases, meaning that you get the first loan, which is like a test. Yes, you get the first loan because we don't know whether you are going to pay back. Honorable Erica talked about collateral. The reason why you can't get a higher loan at that starting point is because you don't have anything and no one knows you. You are sitting here and you are saying you are from Windhoek. You came from Katiti somewhere. Who will come to Katiti and get the money from you? So that loan qualifies yourself. You firstly have to pay back the first loan. It doesn't need to be 8,000. It can be more than that, depending upon whether you went to the VTC, depending upon whether you went to the skills training, and you completed and have shown us that you have at least something, or whether you have already a small business that you are running, but we have to verify it. And it's not run by the ministry, it's run by an implementing agency. And this implementing agency are young people who were unemployed, most of them. They started it, most of them were doing well in they were doing well in the credit scheme, and we say, come and help other young people. That's how it works. So you qualify yourself. If you fail to qualify yourself, you don't qualify for the next loan. And the next loan is higher than the first loan that you get. Our loans actually goes until 200,000, but there are conditions for you to get it. 200,000, and there are conditions for you to get it. Did I answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Comrade Helen. I think you had one credit scheme that, before I cut you, you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, I think I have 2 or 3 programs.
Okay.
The other programs was introduced by the late the late His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob under the Harambee Prosperity Plan. May his soul rest in peace. This is what we call the 121 Youth Enterprises. He called it 121 Rural Youth Constituency Enterprise, and that is the name we are keeping up today. That is one enterprise per constituency. For those who don't know, Namibia has got 121 constituencies in all 14 regions. Not that every region has got 121, but then some of them have less, have 6, up to 12. So this project is run by young people. It's an enterprise, it's not a project per se, but it's run by young people who are selected in the community by the regional structure. These young people comes together, they are given training, and at the end of the day, they are funded. Luckily this time, because the program, when it was introduced, it had no budget, and DBN came forth with 8 million. And that is the funds that we have used up to today to disperse to young people. Unfortunately, it's good that the Honorable Minister of Finance is here, and she is talking about 257. Government have set up expectations on the ground, and the ministry did not have enough funds. So on these ones, especially this year, there is a bit of money that is budgeted for, that is only a 9.8 million, but it will not cover all. Why I am saying so is because the money that we get, the 8 million from DBN, could only cover 28 enterprises. That is 2 enterprises per region. It came with conditions because it's not the 8 million that we are talking about here. This is a lot of money. It starts, some of them get 250, 300. Some of them even went to 600,000. What do you need to do? It needs to register. You need to meet all the requirements. Well, you have to register with NAMRA, with BIPA, with Social Security, and any other, if it is a requirement. And they have to meet those requirements. Currently, we have 28, and 17 of them are fully funded, and they are in operation. You will find them in your villages if you go there, your constituencies that are funded, and they are doing very well. They have employed a number of people. It came with its own concept of having 5 to 10 young people. Many have 5 to 10 young people, and some have either 2 or 3 and so. The other program that I will talk about is the self-help program, where we have a charcoal businesses or charcoal programs. Here we have young people who are involved in charcoal. We are doing it with a number of institutions. Even now we are in biomass with the Ministry of Labor, some UN organization, the banks, and also, mostly the banks and our SOEs, they are also there. We have currently more than 200 young people already involved, and they are at Hemsborg Farm, and they are there to manufacture or to produce charcoal. And they have a market for that. For those who have read the SWAPO manifesto, and I think everybody here have read it, the ministry is given a mandate to start 14 cooperatives. We are busy with the concept of 14 cooperatives, and we are in discussion with the Ministry of Agriculture, and these cooperatives will start soon, before November this year. That is also an opportunity for young people. For the 121 enterprises, the tone is already set on the ground. The groups are there, or either the enterprises are already established. Whatever we have to do is to operationalize them. And we are trying by all possible means to mobilize funds so that all the 121 enterprises will be funded. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for I believe that I cannot wait for the harvest of the charcoal, because currently we cannot buy at our houses like the potatoes. So maybe it might reduce the cost. Indeed, that one, it begs the question to Comrade Petrina Dengwa. Government is funding youth entrepreneurs, transforming them into medium enterprises, to larger enterprises, and turning them into employers who are having employees. Now, what relationship or what mechanisms are in place to monitor employer compliance? Because we need to speak the same language. If we are saying that we need to enforce the minimum wage, our own people we need to lead by example. So what mechanisms are there?
Thank you, moderator, for the question. The mechanism that we have to enforce the minimum wage, as I have indicated earlier, just to add to what I have said, is that the responsible directorate have a planned workplace inspection on specific targeted sectors to say, in this quarter we target sector A, this quarter we target sector B, of how many that we target to inspect that within that specific quarter. And with that, as we inspect, depending on the findings, the inspectors are empowered to issue compliance orders should the employer not in compliance with the, let me say, with the minimum wage or any provision of the law which they are enforcing. And again, to say, we have the young entrepreneurs that are coming forth. Of course, we need to support them. We need to support them in a sense of education. We need to understand them that they are coming, they are just joining the market, the labor market. Hence, the education and awareness is very critical when it comes to them, for them to understand the labor laws, the labor laws, their responsibility when it comes to social protection covering the wage, the minimum wage, because we want to make sure that the employment that, number one, the employment that we are creating, it should be, we want to see decent employment. Decent employment in a sense that it's paying fairly. Workers are receiving fair wage, minimum, or to say they are complying with the minimum wage or above the minimum wage. That is what we want to say, to see. Just to make sure that this enables them to live a decent living standard. We want to see that workers, apart from wage, they are protected in terms of their safety and health. And this, at the end of the day, when you are complying, you are enabling or you are moving towards sustainable business, sustainable employment, and that is what we want to see. We don't want to see today a business start, tomorrow, because of non-compliance, major compliance, there are labor issues, there are labor disputes, or a closure of a business because there has been a fatality at the workplace. So we are to say, having this entrepreneurship, young entrepreneurship coming, allow them, we want them to comply with the labor law. We are here to support. We do appreciate as a ministry this type of platform that we get to know what are the projects out there, because we need to coordinate, and through that coordination, if Mr. Igonda knows that there is a project starting somewhere, definitely he will link with the labor inspectorate or labor services for the inspection to be conducted, just to verify that this job really decent, that they are protecting workers, because protecting workers at the end of the day, we are promoting sustainability. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Comrade Petrina Ngidengwa. Honorable Erika Safuda, you know that we all love you. Do you know that? We do. Which channels will be employed for the allocation of the funds for the next 5 years?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Moderator. As I have indicated that we are about now to launch this fund, and I know the youth has been asking, we have been now hearing this for many days. It is because designing this fund is not an easy one, and gradually we will continue to improve on how we have designed it. The conduit, like I have mentioned, it will be DBN, it will be AgriBank, and the EIF. NAMPOST will come on board later. And why we have chosen the three, like I have already mentioned, is because the criteria are aligned, very much aligned through of these three institutions. What we have also discussed is to say, why is it that if there were products already in existence, why is it that the uptake was too low? And one was the collateral issue, and two, the interests were also not that attractive. Now, when you hear an interest that has come from 7% to 4%, who is not going to be appetized by that one? So those are the three conduits that we are going to make use of for now, and they are ready.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. So you are saying that they are ready. They are ready. They are ready. We can go there tomorrow. Comrade Helena Mutoko, I'm not going to leave you. No. We are together for the night. Are there any partnership with private sector or NGOs to scale youth innovations? Does the ministry have partnership in place in order to assist the youth to innovate these services in doing business with NGOs? Are there any partnership in place with NGOs?
I will start saying that I will say yes, no. Mostly yes, because we understand and we know that it's only when we are in partnership that we can really talk about employment creation. Because government alone cannot create jobs. They can try, but then the creation of jobs will not be there. I will say yes, because the initiative that we are trying, yes, we include private partnership, mostly for us to realize the growth of what young people are initiating, what they are coming up with, for them really to see that they have created employment, or they are not just ending their business into no way, but are continuing. And mostly, if we can look into that, we look into the part of mentorship. This is mainly where they can come in, and it also requires funds for them to mentor these people, because they can be individuals who are good in their own way of doing things, and they require funds to mentor these young people. But the partnership initiative is well recommended.
Thank you, Comrade. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now open the floor for the Q&A. And I just want to indicate that when you have a question, be brief, state your name, the organization that you are coming from or representing, and keep your question straight and to the point. The first round, we will take 6 questions. 6 questions, okay? At the first round, we can take 6 questions, and then we will then allow the panel to respond. And then from there, we will then allow 3 questions from our online viewers. And then we will then allow the panel to respond, and then we will see we can take the last round of questions.
Yes, good evening. My name is Maguno Kathindi. Currently representing the SPYL Youth League Hawkland East. Yes, good evening. I'm also the principal officer from the Institute of Property Valuers Namibia, acting CEO and principal officer of the Institute of Property Valuers Namibia. And one more thing, King Maguno, like, comment, subscribe. King Maguno, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Comrade Jerville, I see you.
Allow him.
Sorry, a question. Okay, the first question is, Environmental Investment Fund, sir. When is the EIF scholarship coming out? First question. Second question
Just a
is...
second. Can you just speak a bit?
Environmental Investment Fund, when is the next scholarship coming out? First question. And second question is, which subjects are going to be free? That's for the Ministry of Education. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. I am Emilia Munjembo from University of Namibia, a student teacher, final year. My question is going to Ms. Helen. Ms. Helen, how will a student or a teacher next year will be unemployed? How will I benefit from this? I'll continue.
Can you just repeat your question, please? Thank you.
Okay, how will an unemployed teacher, because we have unemployed teachers that are just full of Namibia, how will an unemployed teacher benefit from this 257 million? Or there's a funding that is going to come for us to start private school? Because I'll have a degree, but how will I benefit from that? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Victoria Ita. I'm representing the Super Party, Windhoek West. My question is firstly about the youth credit scheme, the one that is currently running. That, I would say, scheme has been in existence, but young people do not get the information. I want to know what is the ministry going to do differently to ensure that the young people get information. Because in as much as these programs exist, young people are unaware. The ministry is failing to put information out there. What are you going to do differently? Secondly, when it comes to vocational training, young people come from vocational training, then ministries and institutions want to give them loans after they've left institutions of higher learning. This doesn't work because these young people have not been groomed in financial management from the get-go. Can the ministry perhaps work on ensuring that young people, when they are at vocational training centers, because I'm an advocate for vocational training, that young people there get financial management skills? Because it doesn't matter, you take a young person, you give them $50,000, they don't know how to manage it. So the ministry needs to do better at ensuring that education starts at an earlier stage. Lastly, I have three. I wanted to ask the Ministry of Justice, what are the enabling factors for the enforcement of minimum wage? I understand that it is a very important program because there are a lot of young people out there that are suffering with very bare minimum wage. But also, is the ministry also looking at it from the point of the employers? Because there are young people out there with small businesses that are not able to pay the minimum wage. What are the enabling factors so perhaps we know so that these young people that are doing business are not breaking the law? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, good evening, comrades. It's Ashongo here. And I'm from the National Federation of People with Disability, but now I stand as a comrade. Minister, thank you very much for the initiative. We appreciate. But I just want to ask this. We know that this grant or this fund is inclusive, but there is people with disability and marginalized. Is there modalities set for these people? That's number one. We have seen some of the programs has failed, but no one is held accountable to say. But in this case, do we have, I really don't want to say a middleman, but someone to supervise, to monitor, to evaluate. Lastly, we know that we don't have data in Namibia. How will you ensure that this system is backed by data? And how will you know that in a Pukiro, there is a youth who started this project. It's therefore I'm recommending, Honorable Minister, that if the youth can be empowered to develop a system that can collect data, monitor, and also report to the ministry. I believe with that, Honorable Minister, your fund will yield the results.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Over here.
Yeah. Can I talk?
Over there.
Thank you. My name is Comrade Chipopseni Shivute. I'm from the Windhoek district. I actually wanted to know about the process, the detail, in terms of the requirements. How easy is it for a youth to actually obtain these funds? I'll give an example of DBN. At DBN, one of the requirements is a certificate of fitness. But now for you to obtain that certificate of fitness, there are funds involved, and you actually need to get your own space. So you actually have to go and look for accommodation for your business. So I just want to know, is it easy for a youth that is actually on the street there to actually obtain these funds? Are the requirements easy for them? Thank you.
Thank you. On the other side, far corner, at the back.
Chair, one second.
Bring my mic. I was the very first person. Thank you very much.
Just a minute, comrade. And I'm appealing to all of us. I know we are very curious, we are very eager to hear, but may we please limit our questions to one question per speaker, and also please perhaps in a space of a minute. Let us not give very long scenarios. It kills or it eats up in the space of another young person in the house that also has a burning question. May we respectfully also give our questions for the sake of clarity and not cast aspirations or out the what is God. But you get what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If we keep our questions short, we will allow everybody.
All right. Thank you very much for a long awaited. My name is Abia from Windhoek East, and I also mentor. For me, I'm not going to give questions. I'm just going to add on. I want to thank the Honorable Minister that last time we got this lecture by your ED at the Commerce Regional Council. It was awesome. But I just want to repeat some of the recommendations, and I'm happy that Labour is also here. In terms of the evaluation of this fund, it should be divided into NGO